Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist. Welcome back to See Being Hunted. It's episode 347 now. So, we have started a new challenge in the last episode, the Turntables Challenge. I just saved at the jetty just there, hence why I was over there, even though I said I was going to start this episode pretty much straight off the bat after the last one, hence why I'm over there, not back over here where I actually was originally. So yeah, we're just going to continue on. We've already fulfilled some of the ambushes that we wanted to carry out alongside these large buildings on this centre island. There's a few more to do, and then we can head on to a new island, ladies and gentlemen. So, what I'm thinking is, if we just have a look in this mansion first, because this is a different mansion to the one we were in last episode, or the one we were at last episode, not in. But it's always worth just going through the doors to begin with before you do anything else, just to see if there's anything good, like a torch, for example. Torches, always useful. I'll eat some cheese whilst I'm at it, and have some fruit cake. I've also got this Protect Me talisman, which might prove very useful as the game progresses. Don't need another torch. We can go in here. No, there's nothing there. Okay, right. You know what we're going to do? We're going to start the ambush at this one. Does anybody like my trombone playing? Ah, here we go. He's coming. Down. Right. He's going to come over. Now you know how the old tactic goes with this weapon, the old shotgun. Wait for him to shoot twice. Wait for him to reload. Get close. Boom. Both barrels, like that. There you go. That's another ambush down. This guy... Is this guy on his own? Did he not have a friend? I think I can vaguely hear some bleeping in the background, but it sounds very far off. Don't know if you can hear it, or if it's just me. Oh no, maybe it's just me. No, it might... No, okay. He might have just been on his own then. Never mind. Alright, well, at least we took him out, though. That's the good thing. So we've cleared... Well, we've done another ambush at another building, so we're off to a great start already. Now, obviously we have the farm over here, so what we can do here, of course, is just explore the building first, chucky bickies. There's a bit of food, but we don't really need food, do we? Look how much we got. Just had an absolute cook fest in the last episode where I cooked so much meat. Alright, let's light this fire, and we'll lure some people over from afar. So in the meantime, hope you guys out there are all doing well and you're enjoying the latest challenge here in So You're Being Hunted. Turntables Store is a simple concept, which should be nice and enjoyable. Everyone likes seeing me having a shootout with the robots, as far as I'm aware, you know, don't you? Yes, but, you know, actually, as I was doing this challenge, as I was preparing for it as well, it just reminded me of an interesting topic of conversation, one which, hold on, we have actually got visitors over here. I'll try and talk about it as I'm conducting this ambush. Hold on, let's see if we can just lure them in. Let's get them right into the middle of these grounds over here. So, yeah, the topic I was thinking about as I was kind of preparing for this challenge was, obviously, this challenge relies me to do a lot of camping out near buildings, waiting for robots, to come close, and then getting them. It just made me start thinking about camping in general in video games, particularly in multiplayer FPS, stuff like that. Because of course, that's a subject which tends to evoke a lot of very divergent opinions, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Some people don't mind camping. Oh my god, there's a lot of fucking robots. Shit. Okay, this is bad. Never mind what I was saying, I think we need to get out. Oh fuck. Get me out. Okay, it looks like they're pissing off though, that's fine, isn't it? Oh god. Jesus! Okay, maybe lighting that fire wasn't a good idea. It doesn't matter though, we ambushed and killed one person at the very least. Jesus. I just looked out in the distance and I saw an absolute fuck ton of robots coming and I thought, I do not have the ammo for taking all of them on, there is no way. Because I got no more rifle or revolver bullets left to use. It's part of the reason actually why I didn't spawn villagers in this one, or didn't up the village spawn rate rather. Because I know villages typically are where you can get things like extra revolver ammo. So it might not be worth kind of having too many of those in case you end up, obviously, with too much revolver ammo. The whole idea of having minimal villages is to try and make a bit more of a challenge, you know? Yeah, look, we got friggin' robots all over the place here. Well, maybe we can take a few more of them out, like this. Got him. He's down. Come here. Oh, give me your body. Oh, you haven't got any bullets, are you kidding me? Alright, maybe we can be a bit clever about this. If we sort of play merry-go-round, ring around the roses, ladies and gents. Could do it like this. Oh, he's got ammo, that's good. Gimme. Or maybe now is the time to use the Protect Me talisman. Like this. Got him. He's not got anything. He hasn't either. Where's your friend? There's you. Get him. Oh, ammo. Gimme, 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 gimme. Oof, you bastard. Come here. He's out. Nothing on him. There's a guy over here. There's a lot of them. Oh god, I'm out. Oh fuck. Time to get out. Time to get out. Time to get out. Time to get out. Time to be clear. Go, 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 go. Right, you know what? That's enough ambush over there. We're done. We don't need to... This is bad. Oh! No! I got too cocky. I got too cocky, ladies and gentlemen. Would you Adam and Eve it? I got too fucking cocky. Bollocks. Actual balls. Fucked it up. I should have just backed off. I thought, oh wait, hang on a minute, I've got a talisman. I could probably take all these assholes out. No. You've got to remember, it only lasts a few seconds. Oh, cheetos. You know what I'm like, ladies and gentlemen. I just consistently fuck things up all the time, don't I? Well, since we've only been recording for a few minutes, I think we'll continue on. Okay, well, I failed the turntables challenge. I got shot to pieces. So I think this is a challenge, though, that I would be willing to come back and do again at some point to give it another go and just see if I can not balls it up. Yeah, this is how it always goes, isn't it, ladies and gents? I start off really confident, doing really well. Then, of course, I get cocky, I get complacent, and I start doing something which just gets me completely owned. And that was it. My first clue that maybe I should have just cut and run, because I had the initial kill. That's the thing, I'd done the ambush. But no, I decided to hang around and go for the glory of getting all the other robots. And I fucked it. You know, but probably what I should have done is the moment that my talisman wore off, I should have just cut and run instead of hanging around trying to take out the other ones, because I was surrounded on pretty much all sides there. Yeah, that's my bad. I'm an idiot, of course. So yeah, turntables challenge I'll have to do. I have to do another attempt at it sometime in the future. Apologies if you just heard me adjusting my microphone. So I didn't really even get to talk actually about my topic of conversation there. So you know what? We'll keep recording for a bit, yeah, and instead we'll turn this into a podcast style episode. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. So what was I talking? I was talking about spawn camping and things like that, wasn't I? Or just camping in general in multiplayer FPS, because obviously it's a topic which people have strong thoughts towards. And I'll be honest, my opinion of camping in FPS games, in multiplayer and things like that, has always been that camping is fine as a tactic as long as you're not cheating, you know, or you're not doing something that throws the balance of the game off completely. Because, yeah, I can understand why it's a bit infuriating for some people, for some players, if, you know, like I say, the person camping is kind of exploiting some of the game mechanics to create a situation where the game balance is effectively thrown off entirely. But I know that there's some people out there who are just completely vehemently against any sort of camping, and that's where I have to disagree. I think camping's fine. Camping can be fine, like I say, as long as you're not cheating or doing anything untoward. As long as you're, you know, not breaking the spirit of the game or anything like that, it's fine. But to give you some examples of where camping wouldn't be okay, because I can sort of draw on some from my own experience playing various video games, namely Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. If anyone doesn't know what Wolfenstein Enemy Territory is, it's a multiplayer FPS, came out I think 2004-ish, maybe just a bit after, I'm not sure. It was, originally it was going to be a full-on installment in the Wolfenstein franchise, but then, well, for whatever reason, the devs decided to just release it as a multiplayer, as a free standalone multiplayer game, which obviously was Wolfenstein themed, but it had no kind of single-player storyline or anything like that. But here's the thing, right? So Wolfenstein Enemy Territory is, or you know, at the time when it was released, it was played for quite a few years. Lots of people loved it, thought it was a really good game. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if people are still playing it. Last time I checked, there weren't any servers online, though. Then again, that could have just been maybe a technical issue on my computer, maybe my antivirus blocking it or something. But So Wolfenstein Enemy Territory was popular, and by default, when you downloaded and installed it, it came with 6 official maps. So each of these maps, well, they all have their own kind of objectives and things you were supposed to do. And these maps had all been relatively carefully constructed to try and ensure the maximum of game balance and things like that. Now, in Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, there are measures which are designed to try and prevent spawn camping. So, for example, when you spawn in, by default, the game mechanics engineer it so that for a couple of seconds after you spawn, you're technically invulnerable, so that way you can get clear of the initial spawn point, so that anybody who tries to camp the spawn point can't just kill you over and over. And so there's that. And obviously, on pretty much every map, these spawn points are more or less designed to give multiple routes out from them, so that way you're not all bottled up into a single choke point. You can sort of vary the direction that you come out of it. So the game, like I say, by default, tries to give you options in that regard. But here's the thing about Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. It had quite a thriving community of mod makers around it after it came out. So people making custom maps, custom skins, custom textures, custom sound packs, and of course modifications to the actual game code and whatever else have you. And it was not unheard of, and this is certainly the experience I had, to sometimes come across servers where people had modified some of the basic game rules, including around spawning and things like that. And I remember one map or one server rather, I came across where they were playing the Gold Rush map in Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Gold Rush map is one of Wolfenstein Enemy Territory's 3 North Africa campaign themed maps. And the basic premise is that the Allied team has to take control of a tank. They have to escort it down the roads through the town to this kind of lower courtyard, where the tank will then blast open the doors of this bank. The Allied soldiers then have to go in. They have to steal a couple of crates of gold bars, take them out, hitch them onto a truck, and then escort the truck to an extraction point, and that's how the Allied team wins. And of course, if you're on the Axis team, your whole kind of purpose is just to prevent that from happening and basically ensure that the Allies don't manage to escape with the gold by the time the round time elapses. So the way it works is, initially, when the game begins on that map, the Axis soldiers spawn in the location of the tank that the Allies need to get. So that's their initial defensive point, whilst the Allies spawn in another street not too far away. However, if the Allies get to the tank and repair it and start moving it, it resets the spawn positions of both teams. So the Allied spawn position is reset to the courtyard where the tank is initially found, whilst the Axis spawn point gets reset to this little back alley close to the bank where the gold is located. And I always remember, because I can picture this map still very well to this day, the second Axis spawn point in this little back alley has 2 access points which they can use to get out from it. One that connects directly to the courtyard where the tank tries to get to, and another one which sort of loops around the back of the bank and then comes out in another part of the courtyard. So by default, it's a pretty cramped and enclosed space where the Axis spawn if their point gets reset. But, with Wolfenstein Enemy Territory's mechanics of making sure that you're technically invulnerable for the first couple of seconds after you spawn in, that's not too much of a problem. Axis players can obviously split up, they can get out relatively fine. But one time I came across a server where the momentary invulnerability had been completely cancelled. They got rid of it, and boy did that throw off the game balance completely. It did. So I remember I joined the Allied team on that one, and I became a soldier class with a flamethrower, and made my way down to this secondary Axis spawn point after it had been reset to there, stood in a corner and basically just sprayed fire everywhere across this courtyard whenever the Axis players would respawn after being killed. Because again, that's the thing, the way respawning obviously works in Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, you don't just respawn the moment you die. There's like a slight cooldown of several seconds, and then everybody who's died respawns all at once. So that means they all spawn at the same. All these players who've just died, they all spawn at the same time. And if you know, with the fact that the momentary invulnerability had been removed, and then you just stand there with a fucking flamethrower, you could fucking just torch all those players straight out the gate. The moment they spawn back in, they're dead instantly. Because the thing about Wolfenstein's flamethrower, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory's flamethrower, which the mechanics of it are basically more or less the same as the flamethrower in Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It when you get deluged in fire, it does a lot of damage and it drains your health very quickly. And on top of that, it has like a visual effect if you're on the receiving end of it, where it creates like flames going up your screen, which actually reduces your ability to see what's going on. So it's a really nasty thing to get attacked by, especially in close quarters. And I remember, even now, years later, on that server, those Axis players just did not stand a fucking chance. It really threw the game balance off completely. I imagine more than a few Axis players just raged out that day. But yeah, so that was one example of where spawn camping is definitely wrong, because obviously the game mechanics have been fiddled with, and effectively it gives a real big exploit advantage to the Allied team. So there was that. The other example I remember of spawn camping not being okay was another Wolfenstein Enemy Territory map on another server that I once played on. So another map that comes with Wolfenstein Enemy Territory by default is the Seawall Battery map. So this is another of the North Africa campaign themed maps, and this one basically takes place on a coastline. It's quite a steep coastline actually, and there's basically these huge like bunker fortifications along the top of it, and the Allies spawn on the beach at one end of it, whilst the Axis spawn initially in a bunker overlooking the beach. And the idea is the Allies have to fight their way up onto the beach, access the bunker fortifications, then find their way to this large naval gun emplacement, and they have to destroy the gun. That's the overall objective. So of course, you know, like I say, initially the Allies spawn down on the beach, and initially the Axis spawn in one of the bunkers overlooking the beach. If the Allies get up to the top of the beach, and they're able to capture the bunker where the Axis initially spawn, then, as you'd expect, it resets the spawn locations. So the Allies will then spawn in that bunker. Axis spawn point gets moved off somewhere deeper within the fortification complex. But the thing about this map is, although the Allied spawn is in quite a quite a relatively open location, it does give still a fair amount of flexibility for them to actually push their way up the beach. So whilst the Axis do have a few weapons in their bunkers to try and hold down the enemy team on the beach, they have like machine guns, for example, things like that. They have bunkers that you can stand in. Obviously, you know, game balance, there are a few mechanics around what they there's a few mechanics to try and prevent them from just dominating. So for example, like machine gun emplacements, you can't just fire them constantly. Eventually machine guns overheat, so you need to fire in short, quick bursts, stuff like that. And of course, you know, the Allies do have access to weapons to try and suppress Axis fire. So, you know, they have things like airstrikes, artillery strikes that they can call in. Because the thing is, in the Wolfenstein Enemy Territory game, one of the classes you can play as is the Field Ops. And the Field Ops' major sort of gimmick is that he can call in airstrikes and artillery strikes. Now, again, game balance comes in here. By default, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory does not allow you to just spam airstrikes and artillery. You, if you activate them, there's then a massive cooldown time before you can call them in again. And the thing is, although you could have lots of people playing as the Field Ops class, there's a limit to how many artillery and airstrikes you can call at once. So you can't just spam Field Ops all over the map and just have them constantly calling stuff in. There's a limit to how much you can actually call in at any one time. So there's that, and that's supposed to ensure game balance, and normally it does. But one time I found a server playing that map where that cooldown time between launching airstrikes and artillery strikes had actually been massively reduced. And boy, it did that throw off the game balance as well. It did. I remember I played as an Axis Field Ops. I just positioned myself in the initial spawn bunker, looking down onto the beach. I remember correctly from this bunker, you can't actually quite see the exact Allied spawn point, but you can basically see the access to it. And basically what I did was I just spammed artillery strikes on the approach to the Allied spawn point, and most of the Allied players could not get out of that spawn point without being blown apart. Yet, like I say, threw the game balance completely off. So that is another example of where spawn camping is very wrong. Yeah, and you shouldn't do it, because obviously the game mechanics are wonky in that respect. They've been modified, and it makes things completely unfair. So that's why, you know, sometimes camping is seen as a bad thing. But like I say, that's where you have examples of camping whilst also making use of modifications. What essentially is cheating, basically. So yeah, that's why it might be bad. But other than that, like I say, if you're not cheating, then I don't actually see what the problem with with camping in general is. I know spawn camping might be seen as a bit douchey, but honestly, if the game doesn't have kind of mechanics by default to try and protect players who've just spawned in, like for example temporary invulnerability for a couple of seconds, then to be honest, is that, you know, kind of a reflection on bad game design, maybe? So something to think about, ladies and gents. But I think that's enough yammering from me. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about my topic of conversation before ending this episode, since I fucked up the challenge completely. So let me know your thoughts on camping down in the comments below. And other than that, I'll see you in the next episode. Maybe we'll do another challenge, maybe we'll have another podcast style episode, or maybe we'll make a second attempt at the Turntables Challenge. Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel and all that. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next part, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye, everybody. No! No! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, get out! Get out! What? Wait, was that supposed to happen? Okay, hold on. No, was it? I don't know. It's probably going to send me back, isn't it? Oh, fuck you. Really? You're going to send me back here, make me do all this again? God damn it. Okay, that is the one thing sometimes I don't like games when they do this. It's like you fail at one area, and they send you back to do something that you previously did okay. It's like, feels like it's overly punishing you, but whatever. I mean, this wouldn't actually be so much of a problem if I was moving a bit faster. It's just obviously because it's so slow, it just takes you a bit of time to get through here.